afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, September 13th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. My understanding is that whatsoever is given to you is precious. If it was not so, existence would not have given it to you, Osho. A master of compassion lives in a perpetual state of openness, having empathy for others without getting caught up in right or wrong. The master is free from the judgmental mind that says this is good and that is bad. The compassionate heart sees and feels the bigger picture, honoring how pain is a teacher and knowing that love and forgiveness are the greatest lessons of them all. Compassion is the secret to mastering relationships. Once you can become compassionate with your partner, no matter what happens, every day becomes an easier ride downhill into the sacred valley of the divine. Compassion creates a very forgiving sacred energy in your home because it does not force its opinion upon how others should or should not be. The master of compassion knows that ultimately the universe is in charge and the ego is just a little pawn. The compassionate heart is so soft that it does not demand what outcomes need to happen or not happen. It is an energy born from love, rooted in freedom, energized by lightness, filled with gratitude, bound by no laws. It feels that being alive is bliss itself, and this joy is our natural state of being. Drop the idea of becoming someone because you are already a masterpiece. You cannot be improved. You have only to come to it, to know it, to realize it. God himself has created you. You cannot be improved, Osho. Can you imagine what your life would be like? To always be loving and accepting of yourself and others and the world as it is. This does not mean burying your head in the sand when you see foul play or injustice. To be the true master of compassion is to master yourself. Self-mastery involves a deep introspective curiosity about who and what you really are, and goes beyond the mind's need for understanding why you are the way you are. The highest form of ignorance is when you reject something you don't know anything about. Wayne Dyer. The highest form of ignorance is when you reject something you don't know anything about. Real compassion is not a kind of blind acceptance. It understands why human beings do the things they do and knows that you would have done the exact same thing if you were born inside their body and brain as a baby. To reach this level of emotional understanding with others, it is essential for empathy and sympathy to be present. We need to be able to feel what is happening to another person without getting lost in their story. This means we need to be in touch with our own pain without getting lost in our story. This is the first step to creating healthy relationships and being free from any future form of suffering. When we do the work on ourselves, we heal the world. If and when we really want to become a real master of compassion, start practicing compassion with all the parts of yourself. Where you are hard, on yourself? Where are you suffering inside yourself? Where do you feel inner conflict? And what's it really about? When you're able to forgive yourself, you will naturally be softer, kinder, and more loving with everyone you meet. That which oppresses me, is it my soul trying to come out in the open, or the soul of the world knocking at my heart for its entrance? Rabindranath Tagore. After forgiving yourself and those with whom you're holding any heaviness inside, you can instantly access higher energy and consciousness. Forgiveness is not something you can wait to happen to you. You must choose to dig deep down into your emotional mire and give it to yourself. Don't wait for another day of your life. Give this gift to yourself before you fall asleep tonight. Forgive yourself for any past drama and whatever wrong acts you did over the past 20 plus years. Think about everyone you need to forgive on the smallest level and tell them you're sorry, you love them, you're thankful for them, and ask to be forgiven. Allow grace to take over you. Let a soft, sensitive, sweet lightness penetrate your heart and enter your bones. By forgiving ourselves in the inner world, others will naturally fall into this energy and forgive you in the outer world. By living in the habit of constant forgiveness, we will naturally respond to others with more lightness and compassion. When this becomes our normal everyday way of being, we have found the golden key to self-mastery. Think less, feel more. Frown less, smile more. Talk less, listen more. Judge less, accept more. Watch less, do more. Complain less, appreciate more. Fear less, love more. Forgiving ourselves on the deepest levels takes everything we've got. Forgiving ourselves on the deepest levels takes everything we've got. It is by far the greatest act of compassion one can ever achieve in this life. Perhaps you've heard the saying that one must walk a mile in another man's shoes to understand him. Well, try going back in time in your own shoes, visiting yourself throughout your entire life, and see if there's any more room for just one more ounce of gentleness that you could receive. Remember that the others we meet along our journey are just reflections of ourselves. So how they are treating us in our inner world is how we're treating ourselves. By going on a deep meditation journey inside, we bring about total inner healing and discover our life's true mission. As we let go of our ego's need to be right and step into the feeling of forgiveness, we find that deep peace is much more satisfying than being right. The relinquished ego instantly brings about the natural sweetness of your life and gives rise to an eternal spring of compassion. The beautiful source of forgiveness is not hard to find. It is closer to you than your next breath of air. Simply hold tight onto the intention that you are worth forgiving. Simply hold firmly onto the intention that you are worth forgiving. Give yourself full permission to let go of any fixed idea you have about who you are or were. The soul you really are is indestructible and undefinable. One day, your life will flash before your eyes. Make sure it's worth watching. One day, your life will flash before your eyes, and make sure it's worth watching. The next step towards compassion mastery is to practice redirecting your mind as frequently as possible towards the most loving, accepting, timeless, light, or spacious feeling that you can remember. Focus on that quality that is pure love, forgiveness, kindness, and absolutely no judgment about anything. Children often have these qualities naturally. When you can feel one of these lighter feelings, stay there as long as you can. This is the fuel for staying compassionate and can open the doors for a higher form of freedom to enter. When we realize how good compassion actually feels, we will naturally spend more time learning how to be more compassionate for others and ourselves. We might even devote our entire lives to discovering the source of compassion, knowing it comes from accepting ourselves just the way we are, in whatever way that we are showing up. The source of compassion is unlimited love, deep eternal love, and a feeling of joyfulness arises naturally from it. When compassion takes over our system completely, we won't have to try to be friendly, polite, or considerate with others anymore. We will naturally have a lighter response to life. When those challenging situations, people, thoughts, and emotions arise, we will meet them with our own source of freedom. Whatsoever you come across is God. You, the people you love, and the people you hate are all manifestations of God. The moment one recognizes that all as one, love arises on its own accord. Osho. Nothing can pinpoint exactly with words what we always were and forever will be. Nothing can pinpoint exactly with words what we always were and forever will be. We are pure consciousness within a highly ordered chaos of perpetually changing energy. We are pure consciousness within a highly ordered chaos of perpetually changing energy. We are too mysterious to be held down by any one limiting thought or idea. Certainly, a negative feeling or judgment about ourselves is not big enough to contain the vast truth about who we truly are. The most enlightened way of living our lives is to be free from the mind and the thoughts it formulates. Choose to be free from everything that comes into your mind by simply making this freedom a priority. You will soon rise above the mind and see through all the subtle, slippery, good and bad judgments it tends to fixate on. You're about to overcome something you've been dealing with. Your mind and heart will soon be at peace again. Be patient. Everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. A soul who is free from its mind soon becomes a master. And forgiveness is the superhighway home. A soul who is free from its mind soon becomes a master, and forgiveness is the superhighway home. The insights and inspiration we'll receive from this path will liberate us and reveal the most enlightened, loving self we truly are inside. The last great discovery to become a master of compassion is taking a trip down the spiritual path of surrender. Surrender means to give in to your experience of this life, whatever it is. Don't fight it. Just give in to it. Let go and become it. Surrender to whatever experience is here now. Surrender means to give in to your experience of this life, whatever it is. Don't fight it. Just give in to it. Let go and become it. Surrender to whatever experience is here now. Give in to this beautiful, ever-present, unbounded universe around you. Open your heart to the divine infinite reality that all that it contains. Be completely willing to be present to whatever shows up at the moment. With this approach, your heart naturally welcomes everything, thought, person, and feeling with deep acceptance. There is no greater source of peace to be found. Awareness is ever there. It need not be realized. Open the shutter of the mind, and it will be flooded with light. Nisargadatta. True surrender is the deepest form of trust we can have. It is meeting life with effortlessness and reveals a gold mine of bliss hidden inside the soul. Surrender naturally occurs when we understand that this life is conscious, intelligent, and here to help us evolve. So surrender your ego's fight to fix your problems and its ongoing effort to figure out your solutions. When we truly give up, we give in, and the real answers come flooding. When we surrender to that which does not change and is forever here now, it will instantly reveal the most spiritually awakened being within inside us. Our ability to let go and surrender is actually what measures how evolved of a soul we are. It tells us that what level of mastery we've reached thus far. The more we can trust and surrender, the less the ego is in charge. Surrender opens up all the doors to finding love so that we can access the highest realms of bliss. It allows the mind to go beyond the duality of right and wrong, good and bad, and transcend human suffering. It is the doorway to bliss and the golden key to our awakening. This universe has a way of teaching us in the most mysterious ways. Throughout our lives, we've most likely encountered experiences that made us feel stuck, lost, frustrated, or disappointed on some level. Then just when we thought all hope was lost, some act of grace happened and life turned our situation around. Just when you thought all hope was lost, have you ever experienced that? Some act of grace happened and life turned your situation around. You then experienced a feeling of relief, satisfaction, joy, or just felt things were lighter for you in some way. This life is very intentional in the way its pendulum swings. When we get to taste sour lemons, it makes the lemonade even more succulent and sweet. The grand diversity of experiences that this life provides for us all is what causes our souls to grow and evolve. We can only form a desire to move forward towards a higher experience of love, freedom, joy, or compassion when we are wallowing deep in the trenches of our emotional pig pen. The secret to having compassion within ourselves is knowing this emotional pendulum is natural and will persist throughout our existence. The discovery to having compassion within ourselves is knowing this emotional pendulum is natural and will persist throughout our existence. The moment you start seeing life as non-serious, a playfulness, all the burden on your heart disappears. All the fear of death, of life, of love, everything disappears. It is a tremendous blessing, a deep eternal love, and that it causes our souls to discover what true freedom really is. When being faced with choosing love over fear every day, the soul is forced to look deeper inside and uncover the eternal essence of our being. This essence is what's truly satisfying to the wonderful and sour experiences life brings. When you can release your personal attachment to where your pendulum is currently in the swing, you'll discover a state of deep self-acceptance at the root of your being. This very root is where compassion abides. This is an effortless state of love for yourself, the world, and everyone in your life exactly as they are. It is the complete mastery of this life. This internal heaven yields a feeling of completion within yourself that is like nothing else you've ever experienced before. So it's an invitation for all of us to look forward to the next challenging person to be compassionate with this week. Think about it as an enlightening opportunity to test your level of lightness by stretching your forgiveness muscles. Try to find a way to reach others' hearts using every experience of pain that arises inside them as a tool to bring more awareness and transcend old karmic habits they have had for lifetimes. The deepest acceptance of this life is the feeling of perpetual bliss, happiness, joy, and freedom. All stem from this root of bliss and happen for those who are willing to wait for eternity for it. When you stop rushing through this life to get somewhere, and simply relax into every single experience that arises, you'll soon discover the greatest compassion has already found you. When we understand deeply within each of ourselves, you are simply unique, incomparable. Accept this, love this, celebrate this, as in that very celebration, you will start seeing the uniqueness of others, the incomparable beauty of others. Love is possible only when there is a deep acceptance of oneself, the other. The world acceptance creates the milieu in which love grows, the soul in which love blooms. We are all unique and divinely special, exactly the way this universe designed us. Any efforting on our part to be special or to become a somebody simply implies that we feel we really aren't very special. Any outer efforts, actions, or inner attempts to become a special somebody always is stemming from a deeper source of not seeing and feeling what a precious gift we all already are to this world. The truth is that there is nobody exactly like you out of 8 billion people on this entire planet. So just be yourself and relax deeper into this truly unique and special being that you are. Rest deeply into your innermost self and truly enjoy it. You will one day become so relaxed that you will spontaneously realize how much this universe is in love with you and what a deeply eternal loving gift you are for this world. Allow yourself to feel appreciated. You can do it. It is the kind of love that allows you to feel and be unstoppable in manifesting the life you truly desire. Perhaps there might be a little voice inside you that has some questions like, how can the universe love me? What's so special about me? How can I be lovable with all my flaws? And how can something so huge, impersonal, and made of 99% of empty space as this universe have love for me? Well, these are all good questions. Explore them. All the answers are inside you. And when you make the time for yourself to dive into them, eventually you'll break through the question and find the divinity that you are simply present, and it presents itself to you. Our ability to feel special, loved, and appreciated all depends on the degree that we open up, drop our doubts, relax into it. Once we relax, we shift our vibration and we become a better receptor for love from this universe. Think of yourself as this super powerful radio tower that broadcasts and receives messages from this universe. What are the messages you're sending out? What are the messages you're sending out? What are the messages you're receiving? Look for the direct correlation between these two. By appreciating, accepting, and approving of yourself just as you are right now. By appreciating, accepting, and approving of yourself just as the way you are now, this universe will be sending you back the same signal. When you realize how lovable you truly are, then this universe has no choice but to send you love from everyone and everything around you. This is when life becomes a constant state of ever-present joy and bliss. It truly is amazing that we are here right now. So many things could have taken our lives from us, and yet we are here, still exploring this life. It is an amazing thing to be here on this planet at this time. Take this moment to welcome it. This universe wants us to take advantage of our lives. It is the most precious gift any of us have. Take a few minutes whenever you can to look back at everything you've been through. See how this universe has always been supporting you. And wow, 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 it truly has. It truly is wondrous to see all the life experiences you have had and that you are here alive right now. Even making it through the birth canal was a tremendous feat of courage and love. Notice how for years this universe has been providing us with food, shelter, and opportunities to contribute to this world. And we can let go and trust that this universe will keep us safe, warm, cozy, and truly awake, aware, and alive. We can allow ourselves to feel this support and love. The amazing, infinite, conscious universe is always supporting us whether we know it or not, and most do not. It loves us. Notice how good it feels to know that this universe loves you, believes your existence is a deeply eternal, loving one. It is time to recognize this and be the gift you wish to give the world. If all we did was just look for things to appreciate, we would live a joyous, spectacular life, Abraham Hicks. We are all super, supreme, powerful, manifesting beings. We just have a bit of amnesia. We've forgotten how amazing, how incredible, how brilliant, special, and extremely powerful we truly are. There is this mass hypnosis going on all around us, where all our friends and family have also forgotten their super manifesting powers and magnetic abilities. The hypnosis is so deep, they may not even know they are pretending to be normal like everyone else just to fit in with the rest of humanity. to step out and dehypnotize oneself from this comfortable sheep-like mentality and step into our divine greatness, we must choose to make a radical shift, which may feel like risking everything we have and who everyone thinks we are. To step out and dehypnotize ourselves from this comfortable sheep-like mentality and step into our divine greatness, we must choose to make a radical shift, which may feel like risking everything we have and whoever thinks we are, thinks who we are. Radical transformation requires radical risk. If you want to play small, think small, take small risks, you will tend to manifest small results. If and when you want to live large, be financially abundant and free, you must choose to accept that there are no boundaries to what you can manifest. Once you're ready to take this big risk, write down a commitment to yourself that you're going to become permanently financially free in the next however long you deem of your life. You write down the date. What amazing, creative, miraculous thing happened during this time, and you'll feel the switch turn on. The commitment is best made now, not tomorrow or next week. You want to jump on the opportunity while the momentum is happening now. The decision to become healthy, wealthy, and happy freely is a great gamble that may perhaps be the most dangerous one of all, because it has nothing to do with the outer world and everything to do with the inner. The risk is radical, and that you must give up all preconceived notions and ideas you have about your financial habits, beliefs, and feelings to step into a much larger financial picture of yourself that's teeming with a plethora of possibilities. You must choose to realize just how amazing, powerful, and unstoppable you actually are. This takes courage and a willingness to let go of the old you. Life is full and overflowing with the new, but it's necessary to empty out the old to make room for the new to enter. Eileen Caddy. You can look at in this life. You grow up, you hear numbers, right? And to you, it could be like 30,000 is a huge amount of money. And so you wrap your brain around that, you wrap your ego and everything around that, and that's a lot of money. Okay? And so when someone comes along and tells you $1 million, it's hard for you to fathom that because you're so focused on $30,000. And then people say to themselves they would never be able to have that kind of money. You see what happens? It's ego mind. So let's say through attraction, through inner attitude, the universe puts together something and you have $1 million. Opportunity, situation, people, whatever. And then you have the $1 million. And then you say, after a while, right? Someone comes along and starts talking to you about $1 billion. And you have the same response. Wow, that's a lot of money. And then what did they say to themselves? They don't believe they would ever be able to obtain that type of wealth. Financial wealth. Wealth is many avenues. But after they keep listening and talking, the billion becomes like the 30,000 was to them a while back. To them, it's a lot of money, but it isn't unobtainable. So let's just say that the universe, and through your inner acceptance, surrendering, understanding, love, and compassion, you magnetize and attract events, people, and places and things, and you have $1 billion. This goes on forever. Someone comes along, starts talking trillions. Again, the same response. Wow, that's a lot of money. And they say to themselves they couldn't imagine having that kind of money ever. Sometimes you've heard that the bigger the challenge in life, the greater the reward will be. And let's face it, on this planet, in this now, how we've all been raised has been, and it's been structured, unfortunately, over us, that financially, freedom is such a huge reward because it allows us to have more freedom and power in every other area of our lives. The discovery here is knowing that 90% of all financial success has to do with the shifts we are making on our inner world, and only 10% from decisions and inspired actions in our outer world. The discovery here is knowing that 90% of all financial success has to do with the shifts we are making on our inside world, and only 10% from decisions and inspired actions in our outer world. And see, a lot of people believe that it's always outside of them, that they always have to learn and seek outside of themselves. Becoming a money magnet is truly an inner trip. And so if you're not financially free within 10 years from today, there is no one to point the finger at but oneself. A year from now, 2 years, for however long. Freedom is truly our choice every day. The decision is to liberate ourselves for the betterment of everyone in our lives. By taking on this commitment to ourselves, we will attract real financial empowerment as we become 100% responsible for who we are and what we become. We realize how enjoyable it is to step into total integrity with ourselves. This commitment is the foundation of a powerful, manifesting money magnet. This is the person who is willing to receive the greatest wealth, the most expansive healing energy, and the deepest love one could discover along the way. And this evolves around the majority of the people on this planet. Financial freedom is actually quite simple. You simply and continuously choose thoughts that make you feel financially abundant and free. It manifests from a commitment to feeling abundant within yourself. It's as if you're planting and watering one oak tree seed, which will grow in time and give you great shade and bear fruit within however long it is. The commitment to loving this one small seed instead of being lazy, doing nothing, and letting all the tiny weeds continually take over your garden. We must choose to vigilantly watch our inner garden with great reverence if and when we want our financial freedom to grow. We must choose to be aware of how we think about ourselves and are treating ourselves energetically when it comes to money. The option is always there, all day long, as to how we are imagining our financial future to be. When we hang out with people who are deep in feelings of financial confidence and peace with money, I'm not talking about the ones the opposite of that, who have money. We seem to transfer of this connection via osmosis. Each time we think about money, it is a crucial investment in what manifests for us financially tomorrow. There is such a powerful manifesting force inside of us. Once we respect it, own its power, financial freedom soon becomes an experience that follows us wherever we go, wherever we are. And all of us, every one of us on this planet, no matter how your ego mind has controlled you and directed you, no matter how you were raised, what influences you experience that you still carry with you, we all deserve the best of everything. All of us. Not just a little bit. All of us deserve the best of everything. When diving into the intention of turning ourselves into absolute, super powerful, supreme money magnets, there are several dimensions within to understand. The first is that becoming a magnet for money is not all about attracting money. You're becoming a magnet for everything you want in your life as well. Financial freedom just happens to be one of those things we all would love to have. The money flows to those who believe in themselves and their vision of the future they want to live in. It's like this is automatic that our every need is met. The answer to every problem, abundance on every level. To grow spiritually, we are not living by human laws. Miracles, and see them take place. Hold ever before you the thought of prosperity and abundance, and know that doing so sets in motion forces that will bring it into being. I don't care. Now, if your current financial situation is like a small candle flame, right? Imagine what it will feel like when it becomes an amazingly bright as the sun. The sun is the biggest magnet in our solar system, and it attracts everything towards it because it is the largest mass source of energy in our presence. Naturally, with its massive magnitude and size, it holds all the planets in a closer, consistent orbit around itself. As long as the sun is the biggest body of energy, everything in our solar system, we will always be in a magnetic pole around it. The same principle applies to our current financial situation. The bigger your energy is, the larger the sun of money you can consistently magnetize. And just as the sun allows each planet to remain circulating around it at the same approximate distance each month, you too can magnetize that perfect amount of income that continuously flows into your account each month. The main discovery here is learning how to amplify your energy to large, so large, that you become bigger than the amount of money you want to attract. When you're mentally and emotionally bigger than the sun, the sum you desire, it has to magnetically find its way to you. The key is knowing how to release your lower financial frequency in order to make space for bigger energy to enter. To increase our energy, we must choose to release the stuff that's not serving us anymore. By making room within yourself, you're becoming more magnanimous and have space to allow in your financial dream or desire. Since money is a mirror of our consciousness, the more comfortable we are with being powerful, the more money we are likely to create in our lives. Shakti Galam. Since money is a mirror of our consciousness, the more comfortable we are with being powerful, the more money we are likely to create in our lives. The biggest Sept discovery to turning ourselves into a perpetual money magnet is how we handle feelings of financial insecurity on a daily basis. When things get tight and tough, how do we respond? Do we respond with a calm confidence, or do we freak out and flap our emotional wings in a panic? When we accept every financial challenge as a gift to help push us deeper into creating a stronger, trusting relationship with money, we can melt our frustration and resistance to it and find a way to even appreciate the challenge we are given. In order to crank up the volume on our money magnet vibration, there must be a deep trust in the intelligence of this universe. We must choose to know that it will always provide for our deepest need. And if we get close to failing or falling off the financial cliff, it will be there to catch us. When we know and feel this trust deep down inside, that all is well in our world, no matter what happens financially, we develop a feeling of joy and freedom inside that empowers us to manifest anything we want in our lives. You can start liberating yourself from all forms of poverty consciousness. This means that you are conscious enough to see the negative thoughts you're having about money and watch your mind as it attempts to believe in their truth. Just think about an instance from your past where you acted as if you didn't have enough money to experience or buy something you wanted. Notice how you felt and where this lacking energy bubbled up from. Somewhere deep in your subconscious, from an old belief that said, I am not enough. When you look at the sun, is it enough? Of course it is. It is the perfect size, and if it was any smaller or bigger, we would all freeze or have major sunburns. You are enough to deserve to have what you want by being vigilantly aware of every poverty-stricken thought. You think you can stop regurgitating them and repeating them for good. Then you can replace each one with a trusting, abundant thought, which will increase your feelings of self-worth, boosting your magnetic value. Everyone has already a set of monetary magnetic value they've established for themselves. This is the amount of money you believe you deserve to receive each month. If you wish to triple your income, there must be an equal expansion of how valuable you are. What is your time, information, and skills worth in this world? Can you really place a value on them? They are worth more than money can ever handle. Now we can look at one example of self-worth here. Let's imagine you got a master's degree at the university. You're most likely believe that your skills and knowledge from this degree make you worth more money, and thus you'll magnetize a job with a higher income. Now, if you get this degree and don't value it or believe in its worth, you won't use it fully and perhaps accept the same job position yet with lesser pay. What's vital to know about our self-worth here is that the value of our real self, our soul and essence of consciousness, is totally undefinable. It has no limits as to what it can manifest, create, and experience. When you're identified with this source of consciousness, there is no ego attached who can prove I'm only worth this much each month and not 1 cent more. When you realize that this infinite spiritual source of your being is who you are, what you really are, then you can tap into it and open yourself up to receive any amount of money you can imagine. When you discover true freedom from poverty consciousness, it is an unbounded, ecstatic, highly energizing, and emotionally liberating experience. You feel unstoppable on every level, and not temporarily, all right? This isn't fleeting, as if you just won the lottery jackpot or anything that's coming into your life. When that manifesting money magnet inside you is turned fully on, full bore, you rarely even think about money anymore. You feel so financially empowered that it's no longer an issue or concern. Then it's super easy to sit back and simply watch any worries of financial concerns float by without reacting to them, trying to get rid of them, or needing to control them. This is the next great discovery to becoming a money magnet, a wealth magnet. We are so identified with our spiritual essence that we never react in fear or worry, yet respond consciously to financial challenges with a positive, loving trust that miraculously outcomes are soon coming our way. When you're truly in touch with your spiritual essence, you become wise enough to see what's really going on inside your mind. You know that the more energy and attention you put into those thoughts you don't want, the more real and dominating they become. The more often you practice allowing thoughts to float by, untouched, unattached, they eventually dissolve like clouds into the vast open blue sky. When you can master this practice of watching, you'll eventually find that naturally, effortlessly, on its own accord, you start seeing new financial possibilities in your financial future. A brand new creative canvas starts to form inside of you, around you, and you create an entirely different relationship with money. The process of freeing ourselves from all of our hidden levels of poverty consciousness contains a deep let go of all of our self-judgments about money. These include all the deeper social and religious beliefs. We have been programmed with such as money is the root of all evil. The neighbors will be jealous if I have more. Money is dirty. not spiritual. It's just greedy to hoard an abundance of money. And it's more holy and respectable to be poor. If we actually want to become wealthy ourselves, we must choose to let go of any judgments we've had about rich people, since this would block us from stepping into the lifestyle. We must choose to reprogram our brains to think it is just as sacred to be rich as it is to be poor. And a spiritually advanced life has nothing to do with the amount of money in one's bank account. Any real ecstasy is a sign you are moving in the right direction. Don't let any prude tell you otherwise. St. Teresa of Avila. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out of the mouth, and remain still. It takes a courageous being to completely open up the heart and allow the other's soul in. Only through true vulnerability can we discover the divine. It is the openness that nurtures the heart, mind, and soul, and allows an unshakable confidence to take root and grow. Just feel how amazing this life is when your heart is relaxed and wide open. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night, the following morning. And we will return here Wednesday, September 14th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Time for Change call.